Let's talk basic bunker play, stuff that can really help you knock shots off your game. Bunkers cost you, they're costing you. If you're a handicap golfer watching this, when amateurs get into bunkers, they're costing them a lot more than the better players. Let's get some basics to help you improve from these not so difficult situations. Bunker play 101, it's got to start with the lie, the situation and the club. So before we go on to basic techniques, which we'll move on to, let's just think about this. Lots of amateur golfers generally tend to have a bunker club idea, so they pick the club that they use out of the bunkers. Now, where that might be the case that you do use it the majority of the times, the situation has to dictate if that is the right club. So what you'll generally watch if you play with better players, just watching your club, is they might actually take, if they know their ball's in a bunker but they don't know how it's lying, they might take 2 or even 3 clubs to that bunker before just taking one and thinking, I'm just going to hit that one. Generally, as the handicap ranges go up, this is a generalization, but so you can be out of this bracket, but as they go up, people tend to just go 1 club. To give you an idea, I'm in a greenside bunk here. I've got not much green to work with, pretty good lie, so I am going to play my bunker club. This is my 58. And I'm going to play that shot to that flag. It's a relatively simple bunker shot that I'm looking to get up and down in. Now, second situation, I've got a good lie, but I want to fly it all the way over to the sprinkler head over here. So we're going to pretend we've got a much longer bunker shot. So I'm now going to pull my 52-degree wedge. I'm going to play pretty much the same shot I just played to this greenside, short-sided bunker, but with less loft. I've got more chance, not a massive lip in front of me. Coming out a bit lower, look at that, running up towards that sprinkler head, no problem. So those 2 bunker shots were basically very different situations, different of levels of difficultness as well. But in effect, I played both of those 2 shots almost exactly the same. In my head, it was exactly the same swing, exactly the same amount of sand, exactly the same swing that I was doing for speed, but the different lofts, got the ball moving at different heights and moving them to different targets. Making an easy to a harder bunker shot the same is a massive skill that lots of you are not doing. Got to choose your loft around that situation to help you. Let's tick off some basic actions then. First thing, nice wide stance. Then I want you to think about the ball position or the impact position. So I'm thinking more about my impact of the sand position, say 1.5 to 2 inches behind the ball, to be pretty much in line with the middle of my chest. So that actually makes that ball go a little bit further forward, because I'm going to be trying to obviously impact that sand before the ball, take some sand, remove that sand out with the ball on it. Next thing I'm going to do is I want to use the back of this club, the bounce, this bit at the back. So you'll hear that talked about a lot at the moment, trying to get this bit. I don't want this leading edge getting involved with this shot. So what I'm going to do, club comes with a certain amount of bounce. So my 58-degree here has 10 degrees of bounce, but that's set in a position. I'm going to increase that bounce, and the way I'm going to do that, I'm simply going to turn it around the axis of the shaft here. So spin it, what people would call open. This will point the leading edge to the right, but it will expose more of the back of the club. Now, to make sure the ball doesn't go to the right, I'm going to make sure I lower my handle. So the lower I get my handle, the more the loft starts to point left. So nice wide stance, just shuffling into the sand, strike position in line with sternum. So the middle of my kind of buttons on my shirt underneath my jumper here, and I've twisted loft but in turn added bounce on, so I'm going to get a bit of height. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm really going to turn around my knee flex. Big mistake I see amateurs making bunkers is hitting shots where they really get their kind of normal swing involved in the shot, where they're trying to push out of their legs, straighten up, these kind of things. That tends to get the impact with the sand not quite shallow enough for a longer period of time, and we get bounces and fins, so they hit the sand, bounce it, the balls will fat it. So I'm going to really turn my upper body around bent knees of my lower half. So I've got handle nice and straight. This is also pointing up towards my button. Buttons on my shirt. I'm not leaning the handle forwards. Turn that loft on that club, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go shoulder swing, while at the same time knees and hips turning, but I'm going to stay in my knees. And this is a big key. The amount I try to get out of my legs It's going to make it really hard for me to remove. Look at the amount of sand I've taken here. So I've hit slightly too far behind that one, but I've stayed shallow for a nice long period of time. The other thing I'm adding by that shoulder swing, the shoulder swing, is I'm adding plenty of speed. I'm trying to impact the sand. I'm trying to move the sand out of that bunker. So in doing so, it's going to need a certain amount of speed or the ball will just duff. Remember, lots of you are keeping the ball in here. We've got to get it out. So big bunker no-nos that I see: ball back, handle forward, stabbing. This is a no. It digs. Look how deep my divot is. It's hard to get the ball out. You need a massive swing with these kind of ideas, and if you do actually have a massive swing and connect with the ball, that's when we get the 50-yard kind of smash balls. No. Second one, subject to what your natural release pattern is with your swing. If you bring that to the bunker, it might not always work. So try and feel like you're keeping that loft on the club. So as I come through, this loft is almost pointing back over my head. So as I go back, I feel like I'm almost turning that club away. As I come through, I really feel like lead wrist is extending forwards, head is extending forwards of the handle, but I'm pointing the loft in the air. I'm not giving it any kind of releases. These releases again expose that leading edge and we get duffy forward ones. We want the bounce. We want to be exposing that bounce, using it and keeping that loft feeling like it's on the club throughout the swing. Then it's the short swing nervy stabbers. These don't do any good. They stay in bunkers. They don't get much height. These kind of like short little bouncy stabby swings. We've got to keep that pace on the swing. Remember, if we are turning the loft on, exposing that bounce, keeping the loft on throughout the swing, what you can then do, you can keep speed on, which is going to give you height as well as allow you to make a bit of distance. You can get some confidence to really get shoulder to shoulder swings, get rid of the short stabby leading edge things. They're not nice. And then the last point that kind of links to those points is, let's think about getting your whole body involved. So while you're keeping that loft on, get your hips and shoulders still turning. I'm around my knees, but they're moving. The lean back, try and scoop it up ones. Oh God. See thimbles. So I'm just leaning back on those. Let's try and make sure that we are really turning off trail foot. Get the hips and shoulders opening up to help you create the speed and get the arm movement and get that nice big bassy smash of the sand. Let's get the sand out to get the ball out.